That is no good. That is...
He is suited up. It's about to get dusty in here.
probably the worst thing I've ever painted, ever. Oh my God. You guys remember the fish tank? It's gonna slide in there like that. So, this is a big moment for today. I'm gonna get everything prepped and ready for my 3412 Cat engines. These are the engines that I actually picked up down in the Keys in August. We'll show you a quick clip of me picking them up. Don't judge. I was coming from normal 70, 80 degree weather, and I drove down to the Keys and it was saying it was like 110 degrees and I was dying. Full sun, as hot as possible. After driving a full day all the way to the Keys to try to load these up, I was sweating, hustling, but I'll show you a quick clip of us picking them up and you can kind of see what's happening. Some big engines, that's for sure. Pardon?
Like 82 degrees.
Yeah, this is hot. I'm not used to this stuff.
My brother still lives up in Iowa and he's like 4 miserable now.
The cold can suck, but this is too hot for me. I'm melting. Yeah, we're gonna have to play with that front one. Unfortunately, to see where good tongue weight is. That's why I put this.
Maybe the transmission. You want to put it the opposite way, so the tranny to tranny. Do you think it's heavier that way, or?
I don't think it matters. The trailer is more than capable of doing the weight. I just want to get the tongue weight nice.
Right now it's like,
yeah. Only have about 1,500 pounds. I want around 1,500 pounds of tongue weight. And I have a gauge. Try for center, and then just see where we go. I have a gauge to tell me. See, at least I told you I'd make this part easy for me. Everything's been easy, man. We're on the trailer.
Now the road trip home.
But yes, these are Cat 3412s. I forget the exact model. They are the Ds. I pulled off the VIN tag because this is the kind of stuff that's hidden behind some of the aluminum that was right here. This is why we're going to be sandblasting them and getting them prepped. And along with the gears, which we kind of have all around the shop right now. Both sets of gears, we're going to pull them out, do the same thing, start prepping everything, cleaning them up, tape off things that don't need to be sandblasted, and get them ready for paint. Also, here is the original engine mounts, or depends on, I've heard a couple people call them different things. They're your engine mount slash your dampener. They have a big rubber piece inside. As you can see, these did come off the engines, and that is no good. That is not what we will be using to install these things. I've actually been talking with Caterpillar, I think down in North Carolina, to try to get a new set of dampeners or mounts. They're actually a lot smaller, which works better for me, because as you guys already know, for the people that have watched the previous clips, room is limited trying to squeeze these bigger engines in there. The front one will be more beneficial to shrink. The rear, which is what's hooked to the gears, size doesn't matter too much there. You know, size always matters, but for those, doesn't matter too much. We're gonna get started here, get things prepped, and I'll take you along with you guys, show you what we're doing for sandblasting. And then we have the most expensive setup for, I don't even know, boxes ever for paint. Yep, that's right. Everything, engine room, engines, everything is either going to be all grip painted or powder coated white, so that everything be no rust on anything and will be looking amazing. Let's get started. There's, as you can see, they are used engines that were rebuilt, but there's rust spots, there's chips. What we're gonna do is start taking off all the components that are black. They're all gonna get sent in to be sandblasted and powder coated so they look fresh. And then everything else will be taped off or taken off, vice versa, things like that. And we're gonna sandblast all the rust areas just so that when we paint them, it adheres properly. But because it's a boat and my boat's in the water, so this happened when I went to the marina this morning. As you guys seen, these are my water agitators. These are what keep the water from freezing. Thankfully, we're in a little spout of like 50-degree weather. This is what happened. So that's supposed to be the prop that's on it. So what I just spent all morning doing, thankfully for Amazon, bought a new deep well sub pump. You take the pump off and then you pry the prop separately, but you kind of have to rig up an adapter. This is what I came up with, an adapter. This is the adapter for the pump, and I drilled out the hole where I was able to use this bolt, heat this up, cool the bolt off, press it in for a press fit so it's nice and straight. Then just drill 2 holes and put some dowel pins in it. Gonna get this set back up so we have the water agitator still. So this way when the cold weather comes back, we're not freezing up again. But this is gonna be part of, we're gonna get those engines prepped and ready, start getting them sandblasted and get some all grip on them so they look fresh. That's what's happening now. Well, we're gonna see how balanced it is. Oh, buddy. Beauty.
That is within the allowable tolerance.
Got some fan speed going here. Don't stick your finger in there.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
You'll end up having a finger looking like this. Or you get it cut off. Or like that guy. He's in there too.
So guys, we got Brandon here, sandblasting the ZF transmissions for the Viking 58.
Gonna get dusty though.
He is suited up. It's about to get dusty in here.
I'm on a mission, I'm paying dues, I'm in position, I'm staying up, it's getting late, you're doing good, I'm doing great, recognition, I'm on a mission, I'm paying dues, I'm in position, I'm staying up, it's getting late, you're doing good, I'm doing great. Hours of practice, they don't feel like working, overthinking, I don't mean to let the pain and hurting. I was main stage with Tiny at a festival. Reality's about just less than 24 hours past and I'm back to working. The wage isn't minimum, but when you know your worth is more, you make your own curriculum. Studying the industry, I know you see me killing them. Nice, it felt so.
So guys, this is Mike showing you. Brandon has completed all the sandblasting on the first transmission. He is now starting the second. They're all cleaned up. Making sure the material is abrasive so that paint does adhere correctly. Looks mint. And now me and Matt are prepping these engines next for power coat. And the man himself, how is sandblasting?
Dusty, but we're getting things done. So did you already showed him the one that's ready to paint?
I showed him my perspective, but if you want to talk about the experiences or challenges you've possibly faced.
Well, got none of that, but obviously there is areas, so this is going to be a mount. I'm not going to go crazy blasting it all off. Same with underneath, where you'll never see it again. I'm not going to try to make it perfect. It's still going to get painted, but there's no point going back to bare metal to paint it, right? Areas like that, especially behind mounts, I just quickly hit it so it's scuffed up so that the new paint will stick. Same with this area where the mounts are going. No need to go right back down to bare metal for no reason. And you guys got these things almost ready to go?
Yes, this one is complete. This one is...
Oh, you still got a couple things. Some turb skis hanging out there.
Super nervous to do that.
All right, guys, doing some multitasking here. Mikey, I think you already brought him in to see the transmissions.
That is correct, yes.
Manhandled this engine out here because let me tell you, it's a little interesting because, sorry, just taping off some last minute things here. Keep the VIN numbers and stuff like that intact. This one was a little interesting to get out here because my forklift is only rated for, I think, 4,500 pounds, and these things definitely weigh more.
Approximately 6,000 pounds.
I think that's 6,000 with the gears. I think it's only about 55 or just a little bit over. Depending on the coolers and things like that you have on it, they can weigh a little bit more. I'm gonna get sandblasting here. I think everything else on this engine is very well taped off. You can slide those up. Got one more number here. And back in my makeshift sandblast area, sand booth. I just sent Mike out to do some sandblasting. He's giving it a whirl. These are getting ready for paint. The hardware inside that was just kind of bare metal that rusted up. I'm just hitting it with some quick enamel black paint just to keep it from getting crusty in the future, I guess. This one we just started doing a real quick base coat. I have both heat exchangers off because they need to come off to get the engines back in. They're just massive with it. It's an extra foot that overhangs in the front. So those are off and gonna get power washed and sandblast separate. So that's what it looks like. Here's where your heat exchanger sits. Like I said, it brings it out almost another foot. This one is taped up, prepped, pretty much ready to go. Matt's over there enjoying some food. It is time to get some food for sure. Let's go, we'll take a sneak peek, see how Mike's making out. And you'll see, it's gonna be loud, but you'll see what's going on for the engine. It's on how that's looking. A little dusty in there, but you can kind of see the process. So unfortunately, I don't have a very big sandblaster. So that one engine, which is about 90% done, has taken almost 6 hours at this point. I think what we're gonna do is we're not gonna really film anything more until things are being painted at that point. We got a lot of prep work to do. And that's currently the project right now. I'm waiting on fiberglass material. It's all hands on deck, just trying to get these engines, everything prepped, painted, plugs replaced, anodes replaced, everything done to just go back in the boat. I'll catch you guys once we start painting. We are getting ready. I just actually prepped the surface with the All Grip surface prep. So just basically a degreaser. Just some surface prep And then we are going to go to the epoxy primer and then the top coat after that. We got both transmissions sandblasted, one engine completely sandblasted, and unfortunately this guy here still isn't sandblasted, but it is prepped. So we're getting ready to spray both transmissions. We'll get them sprayed tonight just because of the curing time and how long it takes, and the weather outside is kind of getting crappy. It's getting late. We're going to hopefully get both the transmissions done, and then tomorrow should be able to get this engine sandblasted and both engines hopefully sprayed with the epoxy primer. And then it'll probably be the day after that we'll do the top coat on everything. I'm gonna get to some spraying of some paint.
Show me how to lie, you're getting better all the time, and turning all against one isn't art that's hard to teach. Another clever words that's often unsuspecting hurt, and as you step back in the line, a mob jumps to their feet. Now dance, fucker, dance, man, he never had a chance, and no one even knew it was really only you, and now you steal away. Take him out today. Nice work you did. You're gonna go fuck it. With 1,000 lies and a good disguise. Hit 'em right between the eyes. Hit 'em right between the eyes. When you walk away, nothing more to say. See the lightning in your eyes. See you running for the light. Strolling out of line and drifting closer in your sight. So play it out, I'm wide awake. It's a sin.
Never walk under suspended load.
Now someone is gonna pay, and if you can't get what you want, well, it's all because of me. Now dance, fucker, dance, man, I never had a chance, and no one even knew it was really only you, and now you lead the way. Show the light of day. Nice work you did. You're gonna go fuck it.
All right, guys, give you guys an update. Brandon is now painting the 30-foot 12s. So this is one of two of the engines that are nearly completed painting. They look darn good.
Very difficult.
Don't worry, you got one more.
Very difficult to paint this kind of stuff with all the nooks and crannies. Probably the worst thing I've ever painted ever.
But they are coming along.
Good morning, guys. So it's the next day, and you've seen, I believe, got one more engine to paint, some touch up to do on this because I got to lift the engine, and both sets of gears are done. I'm gonna bring you out to our little sandblast booth we got set up. Got a good friend, Matt, which you've seen occasionally. He's my beer drinker that everybody seems to comment about. You guys got to remember, we have been working almost 7 days a week and working on the boats Saturday and Sundays. So some of the guys do enjoy a cold beer while we're working. Right, Matt?
Yes, I do.
It is what it is. When it's the weekend and we're doing some side projects like this, we occasionally drink a beer. Well, I say we, I don't actually drink, but I offer them to my friends that are giving me a hand with this crazy project. Mr. Beer Drinker himself.
Ready to go.
We got things set up and gonna do some more sandblasting here. You're probably asking yourself, that doesn't look like engine parts, because looks like it's been sitting at the bottom of an ocean, and you are correct. Because we have the sandblast booth set up, we are actually just getting this part done and over with while the sand is out and everything is out. These are actually all of the parts to my hydraulic platform that I bought used. That is a TNT platform. And then actually there's some of the transmission mounts, but all the lift cylinders, things like that, all the bracketry, hardware. Yes, I actually plan on putting a hydraulic platform on the back for most likely my Sea-Doo. I know it's not really a sport fish thing, but that's for a later video. We'll get into that. We're gonna get some more sandblasting done, and probably depending on how the day goes, I'll just catch up with you guys when everything is finished being painted. Well, I said I'd catch you guys after I got things painted, but some essentials.
Gotta have a beer.
A Canadian beer right there. What percentage is that? What do we got? 4%. Guys on the light beer. So yeah, enjoying a good beer on the weekend. For the friends that are helping, that I'm providing, since people in the comments were pretty upset with that. All right guys, so this is actually a couple weeks later, and I got the 1-inch thick Coosa. I figured I might as well let you know kind of what's happening here. It's been a couple weeks. Unfortunately, I ordered this before the holidays and it showed up like 5 weeks later. So the video's a little funky here and gonna be out of whack. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna try to edit this like we're in the past here and get you up to date. And I'm going to start working on the stuff I started 5 weeks ago when I ordered the material. I am waiting on a couple sheets of Coosa that is 1-inch thick. And once that arrives, which I might start today though, but we're gonna gut one side of it, cut it all open, gut it all out, all the old wood, grind it out, wire wheel it out, just like how we did this here, which I don't really think I have too good a video of, but we're gonna re-core it with Coosa material. At least for this area here, I'm gonna kind of show you the process. I'm gonna take you step by step on when I start cutting into this and things like that. Alright, you've seen what I basically did. Cut all the way around. Make sure you use your diamond blades because they are amazing. Cut the bottom. I did leave it angle here so I can kind of match all the same angles and everything that the factory did. We'll both see what this looks like inside. Have a good feeling we're going to see a whole lot of dark, rotten wood. But let's see. Oh yeah, just falling apart. I don't even think I needed my crowbar. Well, there's still something that's stuck in there. Oh yeah, look at this falling out. So the back piece of fiberglass, quite a bit thinner than I was expecting. Somehow being this rotted, still holding on. There we go. All right, here's the big reveal. Oh my God. And that's what I would call some rotten wood. Look at that. That's exactly what you don't want to find in your boat. Mind you, I did know about it. Yeah, that is no good. This is why we're not building a boat with plywood. We're using all Coosa, every single thing. This boat is going to be built to outlast everything when I'm done. That 2 pieces of plywood, 1 inch thick. And I find it very weird that all of the stringers don't actually touch the hull. All in air void underneath. Never seen that before. Let me know if you guys have ever seen anything like that with the air void. Everything I've been building and everything I've ever rebuilt I've always put back together with no voids. So exactly how I'm gonna do it this time, and might be wrong, might be right. I really don't know, to be honest, but thankfully it's my boat. But yeah, look at how horrible that is. All the way to this corner. It obviously has been glassed in. This was one piece. I'm almost positive it doesn't transfer into here. So usually I just use a jackhammer or one of these. Work pretty decent. This one's a little bit on the scarier side using it, but let's see. It's always nice when things come off in big chunks like that. So exactly what I thought at the very end. It does just end, and I do see a layer of fiberglass in there, so that is nice. Knowing that the moisture didn't transfer into that back piece here. Just by doing the hammer test, you can really tell. Alright, I'm gonna get cleaning. I got the 1-inch thick Coosa in, just finished cutting it to size. It's nice having the 1-inch thick, since apparently all of my stringers in the engine room are all 2 inches. So 2 1-inch thick pieces obviously make the 2 inches. Getting things ready here, we'll go over to the boat and get things ready to start reglassing and coring the stringers. Get that all back in place. Just like I said, when I was at the shop, I got those pieces cut, and this is how it now looks. So I got the 2 pieces of Coosa and everything, all the gel coat grinded back all the way around all this. It fit in there, even though they're kind of just sitting here for now. And then here is the skin of this stringer, which is probably more than 1/4 inch thick for sure. I cleaned this all up, as you can tell. Got all the old rotten wood or wet wood off of it. Got all the gel coat off on this side. So you can kind of see that's how it would go back on. Again, I'm just kind of sitting it here, not clamping it down. Didn't tap it in place. When I tap it in place, this cut seam closes up pretty good. And then the plan is, just like I did this little guy, which you can see has already been wrapped in glass, I'll do at least 1 or 2 layers of 1708 up to tab it on the back side where you don't really see it, and then 2 layers wrapped all the way around to fully encapsulate this. It will be way stronger than factory ever was. I still have the strength of the old skin. The only thing that makes this difficult is having to make sure you can bond this to your new core material. But that's where the thickened resin, mix it up real good, slather it on, push it in and make sure it all oozes out. And then you can kind of fill the seams. And then after that, you add your glass. And then what will be so nice is once this piece is done, I can actually put this floor, or whatever you'd want to call it, generator, bedding, shelf area, just like you see there, back in, get that all glassed in. Then I can actually move that generator from that side to here, because my new generator is going right there. I'm going to probably start mixing some stuff up, and then I didn't even bother getting anything cut out for this one yet. I just wanted to focus on that side. With that being said, my fish tank there is all closed up. You guys remember the fish tank? Oh my god. I have a fish tank. Oh. In my boat. Wow. That's not good. That is not good at all, guys. And a couple of you guys did ask how the water got in there, and I'll show you quickly. So right here, that seacock, which I just have plugged, is the seacock for my AC cooling. A hose comes up, goes to a pump here, and then forces water into the ACs. Well, it looks like at one point in time, somebody must have replaced the pump or something, I think the screws might have stripped out, and they were pretty big fasteners. And it looks like somebody just took a pry bar and pried up on the old motor. Well, right about here, there was just 4 1/4-inch holes that it was hard to see when it was all dirty and paint flaking everywhere. But it was just 4 screw holes that went straight down right into that area. And because that whole area was a 2-foot span, and being, like I already explained a million times, it had a nice bevel to it, all the water just pooled in and acted like a giant funnel. So anytime, and especially before I pulled these engines out, I spent hours and many days just washing and power washing and getting all the gunk and stuff clean in here. So multiple times I had the hose just kind of hanging out over there, just sitting there with the water running while I was rinsing and flushing and cleaning other things. I think I might have been part of me that helped fill that up. It's all fixed. Started getting stuff worked out here, and hopefully this entire engine room will be built out of solid glass and Coosa. Never have to worry about this. Something else I also did do is I started cutting out the weeping holes for those compartments that were sealed on both sides. And I have some fiberglass tubing that I actually made for my last project on the Sea Ray, which I'm gonna make so they slides in there on both sides. You can actually see here's now what the structure looks like. So again, the Coosa material inside where the new glass is. We got 1/4-inch of glass, your 2 layers of Coosa, and then this is your rounded edge on the inside, so you got at least a 1/4-inch of glass and then 3 more layers of 1708 that got added in with all the thickened resin that I used to swoosh in the corners when you're sliding that Coosa down into the new spot. That's the overall look of the glasswork on the inside. Alright, I'm going to start mixing some stuff up. For the most part, I think you've seen enough of mixed glass, add glass. Might just fast forward a little bit and catch you guys once these 2 areas are done. Something a little more exciting is happening. So just like that, we got all the clamps on. And both pieces are all squished together. And then you can see the cut line. I have it all filled in with thickened resin, which is a polybond or just simply thickened resin. It's just use a 5-gallon pail, mix it up with Cabasil, and like I've said many times, just some chopped strand fiber. Mix it all up, slather it all on, and squish it all together. So again, from all the clamps. Now once that cures up, which probably tomorrow, I'll come in, I'll grind off the rest of the gel coat on this side and then wrap it in fiberglass. I'll probably also squish that one together too. It's nice to try to get at least 1 or 2 areas squished together and glassed in at once. This way you kind of have that plan B for when you have extra resin. When I go to glass this one in, as I start fiberglassing it, I'll have this one ready to start gluing things together. So if I have extra mixed resin, then I'll use it towards that. Whether I'll thicken it up a little bit, pour it into the cracks, just so it doesn't go to waste. Because the biggest expense with fiberglassing is the resin itself. And you use so much of it. So as you can see, it is all reskinned and recored. So you can actually see all the thickened oozed out of that weeping hole. Which from the factory, you can tell how horrible of a cutout. It's just some oblong egg-shaped hole. It looks horrible. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. Perfect round holes, fiberglassed in, do it properly. But you can see this is the piece that I brought back. I sandblasted it just to make my life easy. You can see all the thickened that's down here. Unfortunately, I didn't do a very good job with the thickened resin on this, just because I was by myself doing this area and she was starting to kick off. You can see it's quite a bit thicker here, thins out here, and none right there. I'm gonna touch it up a little bit when I mix some more for the area I'm gonna show you. But again, if I wish I had the hammer, I'd give you a hammer test, but she is cored up very nice, and you can see the cut seam right here. I just started to get ready to grind down all the gel coat on this side and 20 layers of paint. And then, just like here, wrap it with glass. But I'll show you on this side. So this is the new coring. It's all sanded down into corners and rounded on certain edges. You can kind of see there's tapers. I've had to, it takes a long time to get the pieces to fit in perfectly, to be nice, even puzzle pieces that line up nice, and to get the gaps pretty even and consistent. That there is what the new coring material inside looks like. This right here was the old outer layer of glass. It's honestly very thin. I think honestly it's only one layer of glass, maybe two, but I think it's actually just, I think it's one heavy woven and just chop strand to have something to sand. And where they sanded it from the factory to clean it up, some of it was pretty thin. I'm actually probably gonna end up just cutting the top off and just adding a couple layers of glass on the top and then wrapping it over. This area here, it was pretty thick. It's where it tabbed into the bulkhead, which is no longer there. Here's the old bulkhead area. I think I'm going to grind it down clean. I am going to actually, you know what? I don't even think I'm going to use that piece. I think that whole corner here is just going to be multiple layers of new glass. This way I can tab it nicely into this bulkhead, tab it nicely into this floor. I don't have the piece that goes here anyways. I might as well just cut this, and then from here forward will just be brand new pieces of glass. Nice and strong. Don't have to worry about recoring it, and it's not a ton of glass. That's why you try to reuse the skin, because there's still lots of strength to this, and it just saves you in some dollars having to redo it all in fiberglass. But I don't even know for sure if I'm going to use this. I'm going to play around and see how that looks. My sweet measurements, because I do kind of take measurements, go back to the shop, do a lot of the cutting and stuff that's easier to do not in such a contained little space with dust. Couple more steps, done. Slowly but surely one day I'll have new engines in this thing. Don't mind the dust all over my face, guys. Just finished doing the last bit of prep work, so if it looks on the camera, it looks like I got dust everywhere. Let's see what's going on here. Got the Kusa all sandwiched together. It's 3 layers of 1708 and 1 layer of chop strand. This way that when you stack it all together, the chop strand is in contact with the Kusa on the bottom and the top. Everything is prepped, sanded to fit. To do a quick test run, it's gonna slide in there like that and then clamp it all. So everything is pretty much ready to go. I got my thickened resin or polybond, pretty much a polybond that I make myself just with Cavasil and chop strand. And I just purposely mix a big pail. So I just get a 5-gallon pail, and that's what I found to work the best. Just pre-mix a big pail, measure it out to whatever it is, and put a little extra hardener, and it always works pretty good for me. That's one of those trial and error things that I for sure learned by error.
I know my teachers lied to me. I do it for the ones that came before and nearly died for me. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great. Recognition, I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues, I'm in position. I'm staying up, it's getting late. You're doing good, I'm doing great.
get this guy in. All right, guys, so you've seen what was happening there. I find just using some real thick, heavy gloves and just smearing it on with your hands seems to work the best. I've tried to use the scraper and stuff. I end up just getting the scraper all sticky, and then I'm trying to juggle different things and hold it. I've found just using real thick gloves, smearing it on with your hand, especially when you have the strand, the chop strand in there. It makes it a lot harder to smear it on. But like you've seen, it's all in place now. Where the old bulkhead is, I actually have a little thin piece of Kusa just to fill in the little 1/4-inch lip, and then I'm glassing over all of that. But nice radius on the corner, and I will have some sanding around the clamps and stuff. That's kind of just the nature of the business. If you've seen, I was tapping it with a hammer. That's one thing, almost like how you vibrate concrete to get the air out. When I clamp it all on, what I do is I just lightly tap with the hammer from the bottom and work my way up. And you'll see all that excess resin come to the surface, and then you can kind of scrape it off and clean. You don't need an excessive amount of resin in there, but you do want to get all the air bubbles out to have a good adhesion. That's what I do. Mind you, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm new to this. Not a professional. That's how it's looking. I did decide I'm not going to even bother coring it with that piece. That one, it's like one layer of fiberglass. The amount of thickened I'm going to have to use just to get that to stick again, not even worth it. I'm just going to use the backside to hold everything in place, which was actually a lot thicker glass, and probably wrap it in 4 layers of 1708 and call it a day. The factory had literally 1 layer of mat, 1 layer of chop strand. It'll be way stronger than factory was to begin with. And you can kind of see now, my bump out is raised up like that, just like this. And then even when I go to do this one, or whatever, the moisture meter's reading just on the high side, and I'm this deep into it. If it's going to be bad, I'm cutting it out. That's going to be kind of the next thing I tackle. I don't want to cut out too much of the structure of the boat, so I've been just doing piece by piece. And I'm going to drill some holes in there, see what the moisture actually is. If it's bad, cutting it out, and then this will get boxed straight in. I'm doing all the rough work like you see here on the inside of the oil containment area for the engine, because at the end of the day, once those massive 3412s are in here, you're never going to see this again. Besides, for all you guys watching, that's the only time you guys are going to ever see the rough glass work that might be left in here. And let me tell you, the factory didn't do very good in some spots like that too, where you're not going to ever see again. Why go crazy trying to sand that all down, making it perfect when there's just no need? That's why I cut the inside out, not the outside. So the outside, that's still nice smooth glass. Even if I decide to do this one, I'm going to do it from the inside. All right, that's kind of what's going on, guys. I don't know what to do next. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do, and I'll bring you along after. So, just finished telling you guys what I was doing for the stringers, and I hear the biggest smashes and bangs ever. So I'm going to show you what's happening. It scared the crap out of me while working in my boat. For the people that seen previous videos, the marina that I'm at, which does not have room for 50+ foot boats, is actually doing a very big extension and adding a lot of slips for bigger boats against the wall. And they're out there digging away. All right, so it's been a couple days. Absolutely horrible weather, but I'm now back in the shop here, and we're cutting some glass here on the makeshift glass cutting table. Got things kind of laid out for that stringer repair. I know I got 2 ones because they're the same size. I'm gonna do 2 layers just to build up some thickness, and then my bigger and bigger. But I wanted to show you roughly what I did is I just made a quick, as you see, cardboard template. So that is the exact piece that I need. But for tabbing, to try to make it a little bit bigger each time, what I've been doing is what I've been doing is just slowly making the bottom and each side so the top of it stays the same, but the sides and the bottom gradually get bigger for each one that I make. I think I'm gonna do 6 layers of 1708. So completely overkill compared to what was there. I really don't know what you should actually do when it comes to a stringer. Like, is there a rule of thumb for how many layers of glass? If anybody's watching this and is an expert in doing fiberglass, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. I could always go back and add more because I'm not doing paint for quite some time. If somebody thinks, hey, 6 layers, 1708 on a stringer isn't enough, please let me know. That's how it's looking. I got 2 more to cut out. And honestly, I just used chunks of aluminum I got kicking around. They're just 2-inch chunks, so like when I put it down, very simple, easy. I didn't measure the next. I butted it up here, went, okay, that looks like about 1 inch, and cut it off. I'm gonna finish cutting this up, get back over to the boat, and start getting it put in. Hopefully the weather is cooperating and the heaters are keeping it warm enough in there. That's been the biggest issue I've had trying to do some of the fiberglass work with us getting down into like -20 Celsius, down into -3, 4, 5, 6 degrees. So very hard to do fiberglass work in those temperatures, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so back over in the boat, and as you guys seen, got all the glass cut up, ready to go. This is what it looks like after I sandwiched the Kusa in and used all the thickened resin to shape it into place. I started sanding the back side down to bare glass. I still got a little bit more to go, and then getting it all kind of shaped back so it's the corners are rounded, everything like that. This is still tacky, so it has been kind of hard, but starting to sand any of the big edges for the rounded corners. I'm gonna do a little bit more touch up, and then it's getting pretty late today. I'm gonna try to prep this all and then come back tomorrow first thing in the morning and just start actually wetting out glass. This will be it for tonight, and I'll catch you guys in the morning.